Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and it is a great honor to present the Roundtable with Scott Simons, who is the president and managing partner of Valley Dealerships as part of Carter Myers Automotive. Scott, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Hey, Ted, thank you for having me on. And, what an honor it is to be here. I know that Liza and Brian Benstock and, other people have been on here, and, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Again, it's my pleasure, our pleasure, Scott. We've heard so much about you from Liza and Brian, who were with us in the early days, and what you have built there at the Valley Dealerships as part of Carter Myers is very impressive. And I look forward to hearing about that. And you've actually got a pretty amazing story, from what I understand yourself.
Yeah, Ted, thank you. I started selling cars for Huddy Hyman. Let's go back. I'm originally from Southern West Virginia. Went to Bluefield State College, and from there got my master's from Radford University. Graduated in 6 years worth of school in 4. And I wanted to get in the auto industry. So my dad said, son, you're going to go sell cars. Why did you go to all this school? You could have went there straight out of high school. And I said, well, Dad, no one could ever take my education away. And I learned a lot. And I have a dream of owning car dealerships, and, in order for that dream to happen, I need to go and sell cars and work my way up. And it's been a wild journey. And then back in 2010, I got connected with Eliza and Carter Myers. I was a general manager of a store in the area, and a mutual friend got us together. And in 2010, I was a partner in my first store. So I started off in sales, finance, which was probably my expertise. Yeah. Then I went to general managers, from finance to general manager. And now I'm managing partner and president of the 5 dealerships here in Stanton, Virginia. So,
Scott, I got to agree with you that there is no substitute for selling cars and learning about it yourself. And I am with you on that all the way. And there's so much that you and I have learned, okay, by selling cars. And I like you, I came up to the sales side and the finance side and leasing, right? And it wasn't until my sales manager fired me one summer that the dealer said, don't leave, go back and I'll show you how to write service. And I got introduced to the service department. But the car business has everything. It has business, marketing, parts. It's got finance. It's got everything, Scott, in under one roof.
Yeah, I mean, we are the sales reps, which we train them on how to leverage social media. We train them on how to build their own brand, and it's a key component for them to be successful. But what we talk to our team about is hey, look, even if the auto industry is not what you want to do for the rest of your life, people are changing jobs at record paces. Some of it has something to do with COVID and people being at home and starting their own businesses. But we tell them, hey, this is an audition for whatever you want to achieve. So do it to the best of your ability and do it with excellence. And you're a business within our business. And I remember days, Ted, back when we would tell people, don't put your cell phone on your business card. Don't give your cell phone, because we want to control everything. Now we teach them how to brand themselves, how to be when one of their people in their network think about anything automotive, anything, contact us. We're all about relationship sales. When we first started here, we tracked relationship sales based on how we trained them on how to leverage social media, predominantly Facebook, but now it's Instagram, TikTok, and all sorts of different platforms. We were selling about 5% relation. In other words, the team generated the sale, not the entity, not Honda, not Subaru, not Valley, not CMA. And now that we've trained and tracked that, 45% of our sales are generated by the sales associate, by building those relationships and using our training on how to leverage social media.
Isn't that amazing? And you know what? That also transcends to service and parts, because that's all the relationship there, right? And it's all gone full circle, Scott. You told me there was a time in the industry, maybe not so long ago, where you made a change and had to make a change for yourself. And I know you're leading. How many employees, Scott, at your
175.
Okay, you got a lot of people. Okay, under you. Tell us about that if you don't mind.
Yeah. So, I think in life sometimes we can get so fixated on a goal, on accomplishing a goal, that at least I did, that I really lost who I was as an individual. So I was winning in business. So I've been involved with 4 different dealerships, and so in order to get the manufacturer's eye, even when I was in finance, I knew that I needed to sell a bunch of new cars. So I got really good relationships with the banks, and I really pumped up new car volume. And then people say, why is this dealership, this Saturn dealership or Pontiac GMC dealership selling so many new cars? Then when I went to meetings, I networked. And when I met people, I said, my dream is to, own a car dealership one day. Well, when you start pumping up the numbers, by getting good relationships and building value in new, people start to ask who you are, who your team is really. And I always would just deflect, hey, I've got a really good team. And I was working for a group before I came to CMA. I was winning in business, but I was losing as a husband, number one. I was losing as a dad. I was not, I was going to attain a goal no matter what I had to do. My health, I ballooned up to 265 pounds, had high blood pressure. And came a point in my life where if I didn't make changes, I wouldn't be here today. And luckily, I have a wife. We've dated or been married over 30 years. And she said, listen, you're winning in business, but I don't even know who this person you've become. And I had a big wake up call, and I had to make a change, both by my health and my wife. And at that point, I realized some things. You can't be the only person that wins. So if I lead the Valley dealerships, I have to fit Valley within CMA. I need to, all the associates that are here, I need to find out what's important to them and help lead them. And then if I can help them get to their goals, they will help me and CMA get to our goals. And so I started really pouring into people around me and learning more about what's their professional and personal goals. I need to know what's important to them to help steer them. Or do they want to move up in the ranks? Some of the really good associates, they want to just, they want to sell cars, and they want to operate and worry about themselves, not a team. And I really took a wake-up call, but that's where my career really took off, because I truly cared about other people and found out more about what they wanted to accomplish. And one of the things we do is we ask every associate for 3 of their personal and 3 of their professional goals. And then we meet with them quarterly on what are those goals. And then, Ted, that day that I don't feel like making that prospect call or I don't feel like going and, picking up that piece of trash on the lot, I remember, hey, I've got these goals. I look down at my phone and know that, my daughter going to college or my son going to college. That's why I have to pick up and make that phone call, because to be honest, not all of us are on top of our game every single day. I'm not either. I just don't want anybody to know it. They shouldn't be able to tell when they come in contact with me.
And you're right. It's always that one more phone call. I remember Lisa Copeland said the fortune is in the follow-up, Scott. It's always doing that one extra step, that one more time that, all of us didn't feel, at some point that we wanted to do it, but it's proven it makes the difference. And I'm fascinated by the goals. So you have them write the goals down, or they're written, or they're in their phone. Is that right?
Yeah. So what they do is their leader, because I'm really big in chain of command. I have an open door policy. Anybody can come meet with me, but you're not allowed just to come in and complain. I'm not a complaint department. The first thing I do is if I can do anything to help you, and typically it has to do with something personally, they're having a problem maybe with their son or daughter, which, trust me, we've all been there, right? I've got an 18-year-old daughter. They maybe have an issue at home. They may need advice on finances. They may need advice on should they buy their first home. I had an associate just bought their first home with us. He's worked with us for about 5 years, and he's 40 years old. And we're so excited. So we celebrated that in our mentorship. But they email their leader, 3 personal, 3 professional. They include me and my assistant, so that way I know. But the person that needs to sit down and go over it with them is their leader. We have 5 different showrooms here. We need the leaders of the showrooms to be their point of contact. And then if they need me, they can come to me. And I want to be known as the person that if you have one phone call and you work for us or you're in my network and you have one phone call and you can't call anybody else but that one person, call me. I've got those 3 o'clock calls in the morning. Do I like them? No, I don't. And I may tell them about it, but I will answer the phone. And if I don't answer the phone, I'll call them right back as soon as I possibly can. So those goals are shared. And guess what? When you put your goal in writing and you profess it to the world, then that helps hold you accountable. So that's something that we started to do. And then CMA, Liza, she adopted it, I think, a lot of the other dealerships. And it's just something that, you got to figure out, you got to do life with people. We're not just a car company. We want to move people's lives forward. That's our associates. That's our community. That's, everybody that we come in contact with, which is what Carter Myers Automotive Group is all about.
It's interesting you said that. We had a panel of all technicians on the event yesterday, all techs, and with leaders as well on there. And as you know, there's been a great shortage of skilled technicians these days, right? I don't have to tell you. But what the technicians have told us repeatedly in event after event, that's not as much the money, but you know what? It's the culture of the organization I work for. It's the culture. Will they listen to me? Will they allow me to grow? Am I allowed to converse with other technicians? So there's so much about the culture. And at Carter Myers, Scott, the organization is known for your dealership's culture, because I think this leads to that. Talk to us a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah. It starts with, first, we've been around since 1924, so, it's been ingrained in our culture. We share profits with our employees. We're ESOP, so we have an employee stock option plan. So employees own 26% of our company. We take 10% of the net profit of the company, and we share it with the staff. We just had our meetings, and our average paid employee, they're not average, but average paid employee got $4,500 worth of stock, and our stock was up 20%. So that's investing in our people. We also have a partnership through FCA where we will send associates to college. So you could come work for us out of high school, sell cars, work on cars. We have a tech apprentice program, and we actually will pay for your training, and we will also pay to send you to college. Not only you, but anybody else that works for you. So we invest heavily in our employees, and I think that's a big part of our success and the big part of our growth now to over 20 dealerships in the state of Virginia and West Virginia. When I first started, I don't remember correctly, but I think we had 6 or 7 stores total, and I could be wrong there. And now we're up over 20 and growing. But it's because of people here just aren't numbers. I mean, Liza sends a handwritten letter to every associate. She has 1,000 associates. The letter is geared toward that individual. I know every associate's name. I could take you around the dealership and tell you stories about every one. We also ask our general managers and leaders to come in through the back of the store. Come in through the back. That way you can say hi to the technicians when you walk through. And they also know we have that open door policy. I agree. Even us in the whole industry could do a better job of pouring into our technicians. I totally agree with that. I think we do better than most, but I think we can improve in that area also.
And you know what? It's not that long ago, Scott. I think back even 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, we didn't used to hear that word culture at all in the dealership world. That was kind of a new word. And now we hear more and more dealerships and groups like yours embracing that because you've done that all along. And like you just said, the relationship selling is a huge, it makes our job easier, in keeping that customer and retaining it, than have to go out and conquest and get a new one all over again.
Yeah, think about it. 4 out of every 10, almost 5 out of every 10 customer purchases through associate that works with us. So your closing ratio is going to be higher. Typically, your margins are higher. Guess what? Besides teaching them on how to build social media, we've taken our advertising budget, not spent as much. Guess what we did with that money? We're giving it to the local community. So we do more sponsorships. We give it to the local high school. We called the local high schools and said, we want to donate money to your high school. People were like, what? I'm sorry, what's this for? What program needs money? Because we don't have to advertise as much. 1, because the inventories are lower. But 2, because we don't have to spend as much money in advertising, because we've trained our team to be an entity within the entity, within us. Another thing that we do, which I think I shared with you about culture, I have people that reach out to me. I'm very fortunate. I'm in a lot of networks. They'll say, Scott, will you mentor me? And I said, yeah, I will. I'll mentor you for free, but you need to come work for us. So we've literally had people, one gentleman left a parts and service director job and is a service manager here and moved from Pennsylvania because he wanted me to mentor him. So he's in my mentorship class, which is optional. It once you sign up, you go through the whole program. It's about 20 associates on average.
Okay.
And we talk about health, finances. We talk about relationships. We did an exercise to see who could spend the least amount of money in 1 week. The difference between the two people in the group, one spent $600 in variable, has a family. One person spent $80 in variable expenses. So we asked, where did you spend money? And people said, I bought too many energy drinks, or, I just blew money on these certain things. We also had them write down what their credit score was.
Wow.
So write down what your credit score is. Then next week, go to Free Credit Report and bring a copy of your credit bureau. And then we gave $100 to whoever had the closest score. In other words, who knows what their score is? Then someone 2 weeks later says, hey, Scott, my score is up 40 points. So we pour much more than just a car dealership into people. And guess what that breeds? That breeds loyalty. I mean, people are loyal. If you go and, let's be real. A lot of schools aren't teaching people these things anymore. No. And, there's too much time spent on social media. People don't know about budgeting, about balance, about health, about counting your macros. We have groups that go and work out together now. We've got people that have lost 50 pounds that went through this mentorship. We meet every Monday at noon. They can eat lunch, but they can't come to my mentorship then go eat lunch, because we got work to do. So I am old school in some of those ways, but that mentorship it has paid dividends, and I do it myself. My assistant and I run it, and we meet and we talk about all sorts of things. My title, although we don't have titles on our name tag, mine says Inspire, says Scott Simons. We drop our titles, and this is not a CMA program. This is a Valley Scott Simons program, and you don't have to participate. We just ask our team in there to keep it within the walls of there, because we talk about private things, and they don't feel comfortable about talking something they don't. But this is something that I do to pour into our team, and I really don't want to talk about it because I get choked up. But we actually had someone that we saved a life through that mentorship. Literally saved someone's life through that mentorship.
Wow, wow, Scott, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful. Every Monday. And you lead it. Wow. Here we are, the middle of May, and we're looking at, we've had an incredible last 2 years that nobody could even have imagined. If you wrote a book, they would have called it a work of fiction, right? Last question, Scott, looking out over the balance of this year, what advice would you give your fellow leaders, the dealers, managers, fixed ops directors, people watching this today? What advice would you give them, in their lives, in their dealerships, in their careers, looking forward into this year?
Ted, that's a great question. I think it has been a great 2 years. Obviously, we've had challenges going through COVID. We went through COVID and we didn't know what the heck was going on. And you give type A people that own businesses no power to be able to be able to do anything real quick. You've got to pivot and you've got to figure it out. But I will say this. I think in a lot of industries, customer service is not what it used to be. I think that some people have gotten average, some people have gotten complacent, and some people think that are doing better than what we are. Don't fall into that trap of being average. Just because the industry is, and because of inventory levels are down, let's not fool ourselves. Let's not let up. Let's not do the things we know to do to be successful. I do believe that now is the greatest time to separate yourself from all others by being on top of your game, taking care of your associates, pouring into your associates, and giving our customers the best experience ever. I think that this success has brought some arrogance. I think this success has brought some I think customer service has most definitely, in some areas, is not what it used to be. It's below average. So it's never been a greater time to shine than right now.
Wow. Great advice, Scott. Thank you so much. for being with us today. Again, long time in coming, but on behalf of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, Scott, thank you so much for your time with us today.
Ted, thank you so much. And a lot of the people that connected us, talk so very highly of you. And I appreciate you, allowing me to participate. And if there's anything I can never do for you, please reach out. But thank you so much for having me on. It's been a lot of fun.
Great. We can't wait to have you back, Scott, and learn more. Scott Simons, everybody, from the Valley Dealerships, part of Carter Myers Automotive, here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.